Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running a theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one." Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's true with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one."
Two young girls were found in suitcases, and now their mother is charged with murder. Trigger warning, this one is not for the faint of heart, but we have a relatively new case. It happened March 20th, I believe, and this is going to be painful for the parents. We are going to get into it right away. We have a lot to get to. We have documents, we have an arraignment hearing, we have a 911 call. And we have this woman not going to be neutral by any stretch of the imagination with this case. I will go full mama bear mode in this. So if you want to see me get snarky in a way that I don't with other cases where I try to remain as neutral and as bless your heart as possible, this is not one of those cases. So buckle up, buttercups, because it's about to get rough in here. How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody is doing well. And I have a thing for some reason covering cases on this channel of either kids being accused of unaliving their parents or parents unaliving their children. Either way, it's dark. So if this is not for you, I understand completely. Protect your mental health first, and I will see you on the next one. And please just hit that like button on the way out. So this case does get the attention, because we even have this case prompting a look at a resurgence of legislation that got lost in the Ohio Senate. All right. How is everybody doing today? Heidel, yes, get your F-bomb. My favorite thing in the world is this F-bomb. This line in the middle of my forehead is starting to disappear as I look at myself on camera. It is starting to dwindle because of this. I use this on everything. It is a beef tallow skincare. I use it on everything from my face to my nail beds to my eczema to burns. I use it like you would use Vaseline. It's great. I love it, and it's all natural. And you use code SQUID for 50%. It's great. I'm obsessed. And I don't get obsessed with a lot of things easily. I'm a take it or leave it kind of girl. And I'm obsessed. So, hey, DR to most. Let's say hi to the chat. Flash Fan is here. And Flash Fan is the person who turned me on to this case. He is the one who is always saying, hey, did you hear this? Or hey, did you hear this? And Flash Fan is a great researcher, and if you aren't on his Discord server, he has a Discord server called Court Watch. It's amazing. He streams trials. We're trying to get him to start a YouTube channel because he would be amazing. Go on, girl. All right. Dear the most, how are you? Let's see who else is here. French Psycho Dear. I have to go get the little to sit down for a second. I will be right back. I appreciate your patience with me. Thank you so very, very much. Andrea, Ronnie, how are you? Let's make sure we get everybody. Jeff, hope you're feeling well today. Let's see. Jaws, I see you. Snipe Hunter, are you? And thanks for the well wishes from yesterday. I was having a not so great pain day yesterday. It was bad. It was bad. But we're sort of back today. We just have that migraine hangover. If you know what that is, you know. Squabob, how are you? Renee's Retro Relics. Thanks, Rita member, for 8 months. You're almost full term. Almost. All right. So we are going to get into this. Hey, Heather, how are you? Great name, by the way. All right. J. Katie Buck. Not obsessed. Touche. Touche. And Dan Davis, I see you. We're just gonna leave that one right there. Mobites. All right. Alrighty. Let's get into this. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to look at the indictment. So we can get hold on. I lied. We are going to look at the 911 call first. I have a lot of stuff, and it's just organizing it in a way that is logical for everybody to see and understand and kind of start at the beginning. And I think for this, that what we need to do is start at the beginning. And chronologically speaking, the beginning would be the 911 call. So we will start there. My brain just got documents, and it's like, no, we got to start at the 911 call. I will create a folder on the Discord server for this case that anybody can add stuff to. I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to go get the little off the potty. So,
March 2, 2026, 18:03 and 58 seconds.
Cleveland 911, dispatcher on the do you need police, fire, or an ambulance?
Police.
Yeah, Cleveland Police. What's the address of the emergency?
It's a park, Midland and 162nd Street. I just found a head in a suitcase in the park. Come here, dog. Sit down. Sit down.
Okay, what's your name and phone number?
My name is Philip.
Plunder.
Thank you for
True Crime Audio.
Your last name?
Donaldson. Donald.
I'm going to skip past names because if you want to go listen to it, I will link this below.
Okay, and is it a human head or an animal head?
Yes, no, it's a human head in a suitcase with it looks like some other body parts. I was walking my dog, and my dog stopped, and there was something like half buried. It looked like a suitcase. I pulled it up and unzipped it and opened it, and that's what it was.
Okay. You said by Midland.
Does anybody see anything weird with this? I did listen to the first like minute and a half of this just so that I could make sure that it was the actual 911 call. Not that I didn't believe Flash Fan when he sent it to me, but like I just like to make sure we're on the same page. This guy, for finding a head and other body parts in a suitcase, sounds really calm. And as much as I've dealt with death or people dying, working in a hospital, things like that, a head in a suitcase found by my dog that was buried, I think would be a situation where I would be a little bit more frantic. Yeah, holy moly, I'd crap my pants. Like, I'm not sure if it would be like a PTSD, I'd be scarred for life kind of situation, but you can damn sure know that on that 911 call, I would be like, oh my God. And you obviously know what a child looks like versus an adult. So not only did you find a body in a suitcase, but you found a child's body in a suitcase. I would be freaking out. Freaking out. And hey, Jen Thunder, thanks for being a member for 7 months. Hi, Squid. How are you doing? Yeah, I wouldn't be crying, but I'd probably be furious. You would be you would have some sort of emotion, whether it's like, hurry up, get here, figure out what's going on. Like, you would just have some sort of emotion. This guy sounds like he, he's ordering a pizza. Yeah, I want a, pepperoni, and a 2-liter of Coke. There's no, and yes, there are gender differences. However, I still think that any normal man would be a little bit more emotional, or at least have some sort of not monotone voice. This guy sounds like this was any other, like, this is a normal thing you find on the side of the road. And Snipe Hunter, thanks for being a new YouTube member. I appreciate you very, very much. I'm surprised they didn't ask him to try CPR. I'm pretty sure that certain, once you see a dead person, you don't react at that time. Well, that's not necessarily true. He doesn't even sound like he's in shock, though. Like, I've talked to people who are in shock. He doesn't even sound like he's in shock. He sounds like this is just any other Tuesday.
In East 162?
Yes.
Okay. And where is the suitcase?
It's all the way to the back of the park. There's a black suitcase. I'm standing on the sidewalk right now, and you can actually see the suitcase from here. Okay, it was like half buried, and I was walking my dog, and my dog started sniffing it. I've been walking past it for a few days.
Yeah.
And I said, let me just take a look and see what this is, because it wasn't there like last week.
And I do have this set up a little bit, so.
Sorry, I'm just typing this all in so we can get help out there.
I was hoping it wasn't that, but
yeah,
it is.
Don't be a hater. Oh, have you come around? Yes,
and this is the person who shared this audio, this 911 call, is Plunder True Crime. Go over there and subscribe. They have a lot of good work. Yeah, hard to do CPR on just a head. Well, he said there were other body parts as well. There's a head in a suitcase. What the, add your own swear word here. I don't cuss, but I'd probably lose my religion on this one. And I know very religious people who curse. So cursing is not indicative of, Hey, Tammy.
All right, we're getting officers out there, okay? Thank you for calling.
All right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Tuesday, March 3, 2026, 10:27 and 22 seconds.
Cleveland Police, how can I help you?
I'm confused. Is that the ride? Is it? Hey, how you doing? I'm calling because the police was just at my door.
What's the address?
Plunder. True crime audio.
Michael? Girl.
Yeah, this is her.
You said 7.
This is the mom.
What was it?
Yeah. East 162nd.
East 162nd.
Yeah, they.
You said the police were just at your house?
Yeah, girl, talking about a child wellness check.
Okay, why do you need police now?
Girl, I was calling to ask why they're knocking on my door, talking about checking on my kids.
So you want to speak to the officer about that? Are they still there?
No. I'm not at home. I'm getting called.
Okay, is there anybody who's home now?
Michael, what did they say to you?
Tell Micah to talk to the police. Are the police still there?
Oh, they said.
So this was the day after her children's bodies were found. And she is wondering why they're there to do a child well check. Just the utter disregard for where are my children. I mean, I'm not one innocent but until proven guilty. I understand that, but even if she did not unalive them. Because she has not gone to trial yet. She was just arraigned last week or 10 days ago. However, even if she did not unalive them, this is where my snarky, I don't give a crap, the utter disregard for where her children are. I get nervous when my daughter walks around the back of my house and I don't know where she is. I can't imagine my child being out of my sight, not knowing. And obviously they were not unalived they were not just put there that day. They had been there. They had been unalived for more than 24 hours. No regard for the lives of your children. Yeah, I would be out of my mind. The little walked inside the house one day. I was out in the garage. She walked out of the garage and into the front door. And I didn't know she had walked in the front door and I'm looking for her. And I'm freaking out because I can't find her. And she went back inside the house. She was gone out of my sight for maybe 2 minutes. And I was in a panic. I can't even imagine not knowing where my children are for over 48 hours and having well, why are you here to check on them? If a cop showed up my door wanting to do a wellness check on my child, I'd be like, she's right here. She's eating. She's playing on her iPad. She's playing with her Barbies. I wonder if she'll face the capital penalty because of Ohio that has that, from what I understand, that's a law that children under the age of 13 can qualify. Yeah. Yeah, she had to do a live on her YouTube channel. She will not be having a YouTube channel anytime soon. No, not until she's 18.
He said that they was claiming to be knocking on everybody's door to check on everybody's kids in the neighborhood. Y'all doing that?
So are the police there talking to Micah?
Well, they're gone now.
Okay, so tell Micah to get the officers back, and then maybe she can hand them the phone.
The police they're not there though. That's what I'm calling for, to figure out what's going on.
Can she still see the police?
What is going? There's no other way for me to find out the information.
So the police are there. That's the thing. They have all this.
Nobody said the police was there. Yeah, I'm calling a non-police officer. I'm not calling 911. I'm calling to find out why they're knocking on the door. He also mentioned
I'm calling to find out why they're knocking on the door. How about you answer the door and ask, or have somebody answer the door and ask, or if you're looking through your Ring camera, use your voice and ask. It seems like things that are common sense. um, I don't know. Like this is where is Roslyn when you need her? Somebody send out the Roslyn signal for Mom of the Year here. Can we nominate whoever talks to Roslyn next or goes on one of Roslyn's streams or comment section? We have a nominee for the Giphy for Mom of the Year right here. Like Bad Moms Club award goes to this chick.
That they knew my name already, knew I had 5 kids. If y'all doing a wellness check on every house on the street, how do you know my information, how many kids I have?
That's what I'm saying. So the officers that is there, they have all the information that you need.
Michael.
So I'm saying,
can you let them know that they're not, let her know that you're Michael.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Michael Franklin.
Sir, do you still see the officers?
No, they're gone. They were here earlier, and we were trying to figure out what was going on with that. Why were they stopping by?
So typically what you want to do is when the officer is there, you ask them what they want because they can give you all
Typically oh my God, I love this operator. Typically when an officer is there, you ask them what they want. Yeah, that's right here. Ronnie, thank you for pointing that out. It sounds like she's fishing for information. What do you know? And I'm assuming that person is her other child, is an older child of hers. And why don't you know where your sisters are? Like, hey, buffed old man. Definitely a Darwin Award winner. I don't know.
They were at the door lying about knocking on everybody else's door, checking on their kids. They knew my name. They knew how many kids I had. They asked me for my information. They said they had a 440 number for me. How do they have all that information if they're doing a well? Hello?
Okay, I think that's better.
Google. No, I'm just kidding.
What's your name, ma'am?
Are you talking to me or somebody else?
I'm talking to you. What's your name, ma'am?
This Shay Kreider. They had my number. They said they had a 440 number for me and everything.
So typically, I understand your frustration, but when we think
it's not a frustration, it's just I feel like they knocked on the door lying.
Okay, so
about what they were really at my door for, because it's not like they went door to door.
You're speaking over me.
Now, I called you guys to give you the information that I know.
You have to let me speak. We have to have a conversation. You're speaking over me.
Oh my God. Okay, can I speak?
Oh my God. Yes, that's exactly. I don't know who said that, but that's exactly how I feel listening to this. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah. The more she talks, the more I'm like, you didn't either did it yourself or you know who was responsible. Just.
The officers were at your house. Let me say this, okay? When the police are out, you want to ask them all the questions that you have because this is dispatch. Once an officer is out there, it's beyond us.
Common sense. And PSA for anybody calling the cops for help or for information, the dispatch doesn't know anything about cases, doesn't have access to case numbers, reports. They are literally there to direct calls and people to where they need to be and when they need to be there as quickly as possible. Like, yes, how to sound guilty of something without saying you're guilty. Yes, this right here is the best example that we have in March of 2026 of how to sound guilty without being guilty. The first time my son went to the playground without my direct supervision back through the courtyard area around, he was out of my sight for like 5 seconds and he was 6. Yeah, didn't we have this in the Casey Anthony murder trial? Yeah, I've heard that name more in the last 24 hours than I've heard in probably the past like 6 months. Yeah, Casey Anthony was another one of those winners who, yeah, she might not have been found guilty at trial, but your parenting skills and your ability to be a parent should be ever taken away from you because of how you reacted when your daughter was missing for a month. Like, my daughter has found the record function on her iPad and now will just talk and scream into her iPad so she can record herself and listen to it back. And I think that's what she's doing. But Mr. Squid is home, so everything is, she's not out there by herself.
So we don't know exactly everything that goes on once it's past being dispatched. Does that make sense?
Okay, is there a way for me to get the information?
Where are you now?
I have court this morning. I have things that I am doing. I am not at home.
Okay, so what's your address? We can send it off.
Okay, so she has court. So she's already, so you have court. What do you have court for, ma'am? Yes, in the 80s and 90s, we were allowed to roam free, but we were also like told to come back when the street lights were on. But you have to remember, Flash fan, in the 1980s and 90s, Gen X and early millennial parents had to be reminded that they had children. Every night at 10 o'clock, the TV would say, "It's 10 o'clock. Parents, do you know where your children are?" Our parents had to be reminded that they had us. Let that sink in for any of the late millennials / Gen Xers that might be watching, or Gen Zers that might be watching this. Our parents had to be reminded that we existed. So it was a different era, but we grew up in the greatest generation and in the greatest era, and we didn't not realize how good we had it until now. Yes. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are, Tammy? If I can find it, if I can find a clip of it, I will play it. Yeah, tough shit, lady. I'm not your personal secretary. Yeah, or we were latchkey kids because parents were always at work, but monitored stringently in different ways. Yes. Side note, I got home from 3rd grade by myself. I had a key to my own house in 3rd grade, stayed home by myself. Was not supposed to leave the house, but when I did, apparently everybody in the neighborhood and every parent in the neighborhood that was home would call my mom because my mom knew that I stepped 2 steps out of my house. My parents had eyes in the back of their heads. They had ways of figuring things out without figuring things out. So, I personally know the chief prosecutor of Casey Anthony trial. He was the first prosecutor to successfully use DNA evidence in the U.S. He went on to be a circuit court judge, and then he lost his mind. Oh, did he ever find his mind? And would he be willing to talk about where he lost it? Yep. It wasn't a reminder for parents they had kids. It was more of a time to send the kids to bed. The news is coming. Yeah, it was a, do you know where your kids are? It was the reminder that you had us. It's a reminder that we existed. All right.
Sure, back out there so you can ask whatever question.
Ma'am, I just said I'm on my way to court. Why would you send an officer to my house?
Is Michael at your house?
Ma'am, listen.
Is anybody home that can speak to police?
I just told you what they said to the person that was home.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we can send someone back out there if you have questions.
Okay, ma'am, I'm not at home, though. Is there another way? Can we move on, please? Is there another way for me to find out information about why they...
Can we move on, please? Bitch, you called me. It's like, bitch, you called me. What are you asking if we can move on?
Yeah, my house.
You want to know why the police are at your house?
Do I have to come down there?
Hold on. Is there somebody at your house that can speak to police?
No, listen. Nobody's at my house. Nobody's asking for nobody to pull up. I am calling to get the information. You keep trying to send people out.
Because I can't give you anything over the phone. You typically...
Okay, well, I would like to... do you have a... Oh, my God. So I need to go down there is what you need to tell me.
Go down
I'm not at home. What the fuck?
Yeah, go down there.
That's what it sounds... I would rather you tell me that. I'm not saying I'm staying at home to wait on...
What? What? Like, lady, please. Like, she's not only like Ronnie said, fishing for information. She is pissed that they will not give her information from the dispatcher. It's like, you don't have to know very much about police or dispatch or people's job descriptions to know that you are not going to get case information or information from a dispatcher whose job is to send people to where they need to go. These people walk among us, and even worse, these people vote. Think about that. Like, these are the people who vote. It's scary how somebody else sent me a clip too. DR to Most sent me a clip as well. So it's hey, what did you upgrade this time, and where are you getting this cash? However, I did get a Papa Squid. This is not me at all. This is not me at all. This is my early birthday present from Papa Squid. Because it will allow me to get more stuff done when I'm like hanging outside with the little or in the living room. My baby. New one. Because my last one was so old that I couldn't even update it. It was so old that Apple said, we can't update you anymore. You need a new laptop. But that was not me. That was not my money. That was my father bought that for me for my birthday and Christmas and my next birthday and Mother's Day. So every holiday for the next year, that's my gift. Just saying. Do you remember the 911 call where the guy got his unit stuck in the pool jet? My friend was a dispatcher on the call. No. But there was someone in one of our hospital beds when I worked in the hospital that had a fruit and or vegetable stuck somewhere where fruit and vegetables aren't supposed to go. And he got himself stuck in the ICU for a week. Just saying. Nice, other than it being Apple. Hey, I have not personally owned anything but Apple products ever in my life. I had one Samsung phone and it was a piece of crap. I had a Samsung Moment in like 2009, 2010, and it was a piece of trash. Other than that, the only phones I've ever had in my life, iPhones, the only tablets I've had, iPads, only computer, I had an Apple IIc in 1988. I've never owned anything other than that. And I never will. So, well, I never actually treated this person, and I know nothing about what happened to get it like that. However, it was the cucumber. And look at the problems I have. No, the problem is I live in BFE, Georgia, and our internet is shit. Other than that, I haven't had any problems, other than StreamYard, but there's people who use PC who have problems with StreamYard and YouTube. That's not an Apple thing. That's a StreamYard and YouTube thing. So nothing is actually my computer. So, yeah, that was a long time ago, though. So, all right. There is one situation. Now we are going to get to her indictment. Because, well, damn. But the one thing I have to do is redact this, because sometimes when people or when counties or the federal government puts up an indictment, they redact the foreperson's name. This county did not. Therefore, I am having to go through all these pages and do it myself. And I thought I did this last night, but apparently whatever I did didn't work. or I didn't do it on all the pages or something, because I swore I did this last night. Trying to be prepared. But this is what I get for trying to be prepared. Things don't exactly ever actually work like they're supposed to. Shocker, right? But there's 8 pages of an indictment. 8 pages. Which one do I have? I don't know. This is mine right now. And honestly, I unplugged a bunch of stuff last night, and I have to probably do it again. I have my little one over here. So welcome to my room. But that's what I have. And now my camera is not going to go back to where it was. Here we go. Nothing's supposed to go there. Exit only. No, my Apple machine. No, I was doing it on my phone. So I think the fact that I transferred stuff over to my new computer, I was also delirious last night. So who knows what I actually did, or if I actually did it. I could have been dreaming. Who the hell knows at this point? Yesterday was kind of a wash of a day. I did have 2 jobs. The reason I didn't stream yesterday was I had not gone through much of this. I had gone through it as it was sent to me. However, I did not have it organized. However, in any sort of way, shape, or fashion. And also, I did not have a thumbnail made or any of that fun stuff. And with that being kind of the thing that needed to happen, I didn't have time. I had to work 2 different jobs yesterday. And as much as I love YouTube, I had to work the jobs that one of them could lead to more steady income in the future. And one is the job I normally work on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesdays. With that also being said, when you're not feeling well, the flexible job is the one that has to go, and that would be YouTube. So that was the one that I had to give up. Being a mom didn't go away, and my other 2 commitments didn't go away. So, all right. This is Cleveland, Cuyahoga County. I know I messed that up. So dates of offenses go back all the way to 11/12 of 2025. And for those of you who don't live in the U.S. who are watching this, that is, we write our dates differently here. That is November 12th. So I was going to send their funeral, but it seems to have been taken down. It's probably a good thing. All right. So count 1, aggravated unaliving. And I have to look up Ohio counts because of the fact that it doesn't, excuse my, it's pollen season around here. So, excuse my cough and sniffling. I am not getting sick. It's just that time of year where I constantly sneeze and cough because my car looks like someone poured lemon pepper seasoning on it. Right. There's a form. That's what we will figure out, because that was one of the things that I instantly saw that and I was like, oh, what? Certain things just pop off as red flags to me, and that was the first one. So Ohio statute 2903.01. Okay. Ohio Revised Codes. There we go. So she is charged with count 1, aggravated unaliving, from November 12th of 2025 to March 2nd of 2026. Did purposely and with prior calculation and design cause the death of AW, date of birth 7/10/2015. Those are AW and MR are her children's names. I do know their names. I will not be saying them out of respect for they are 8 and 10 years old, or were 8 and 10 years old. And we want to be sensitive to the fact that they are no longer with us. The state of Ohio reserves the right to seek superseding indictment. Aggravating the appropriate aggravating circumstances. So one count of 2903-01A aggravated. The second count of 2903 aggravated. So count 3 is 2903.1.01C, which so A is no person shall purposely and without prior calculation and design cause the death of another or the unlawful termination of another's pregnancy. And then C is no person shall purposely cause the death of another who is under 13 years of age at the time of commission of the offense. So I am on Ohio's ohiocodes.com looking at the codes and reading them as we read through this. So one count of that for MC, date of birth 6/27/2017, under the age of 13. And one count of 290301C, aggravated murder for AW, date of birth 7/10/2015. I know, and that's fine for court because that's somebody else saying their name, and I can't stop that. Also, that is in court, so it's a little bit more official, and I just don't want to ever be accused of sensationalizing the deaths of children. So I just don't say them here out of respect for the children. It's another reason why I'm not saying the defendant's name, because fuck that bitch. I don't want to give the defendant any attention as far as saying her name, because sometimes people want and commit these crimes because they want to be famous. Some people commit crimes because they just straight up horrible people. And I just... Hey, Gail. Wait, Ohio again. Yeah. So that's count 3 and 4. So basically it's like 2 counts for everything, 1 for each child. Count 5, aggravated unaliving, 2903.01B. B is no person shall purposely cause the death of another or the unlawful termination of another's pregnancy while committing or attempting to commit, or while fleeing immediately after committing or attempting to commit kidnapping, grape, aggravated arson, aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, trespass, and habitation when a person is present or likely to be present, everybody's favorite, terrorism or escape. which makes me think that she was obviously kidnapping her kids, which will lead to another aspect that makes this case fascinating and one of a case that could lead to a bigger picture and benefit other children in the future and benefit other parents in the future. Actually, we have 50 states. It should be a 2% chance for any state to come up for these cases. Why do Wisconsin, Florida, Ohio, Massachusetts, and Georgia come up frequently? I don't know, but the fact that I've lived in 3 of 5 of those states in my life, hit that like button if you think I'm the common link. Yeah, I agree. There are more people being like Night Stalker for all these monikers. Yeah. So that's count 6 for the other child, MC and AW. Count 7 is kidnapping. Did by force, threat, or deception remove MC from the place where she was found or restrain the liberty of her for the purpose of terrorizing or inflicting serious physical harm upon MC or another. So kidnapping 1 and 2. And I have to look up the kidnapping statute. 290501. 2905.01. So we are on, I wish I could share more than one screen at a time. Yeah, New York and California should outdo all of that. But remember, New York and California are really hard to get documents. California makes it virtually impossible to get documents, and they're very secretive, and they don't record a lot of things. Whereas Florida has sunshine laws, and they're like, here's our crazy for all the world to see. Come to Cincinnati for the vibrant city life. Stay because you got curb stomped after a Reds game. Yeah, you know. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Yeah, Squid needs a recovery addict setup. I just need StreamYard to make it more user-friendly as far as sharing different things. Like here, I wish I could share more than one screen at a time. Like I have these different scenes, but I wish on this scene I could share this screen. On this right here, on this scene, I could share this screen. So I could easily switch back and forth and show you what I'm looking at. But it doesn't exactly. Yeah. This is a very sad case, just like the one I watched where she put her boyfriend in a suitcase. Hits harder when it's kids, though. Yes, Sarah Boone's appeal should be around soon. She's had stalker. Sarah Boone has had lawyer issues, even with her appeal. Is anybody surprised by that? But Stacey, I did cover a lot of Sarah Boone. I have an entire Sarah Boone playlist. I do have Sarah Boone sidebars. If anybody is actually interested, I still do have all the Sarah Boone trial transcripts to go through. So, yeah, she has jail calls. Jumpsuit Pablo has done a really good job at covering Sarah Boone's jail calls, and I don't think I could do that any better than he could. So I'll leave that one to him. If you don't follow Jumpsuit Pablo, you should. I would love a collaboration with him, but I am too small of a channel for his powerhouse channel. And also, I am not covering any of the family stuff because thinking about Sarah Boone as a parent is disturbing on its own level. Like thinking about Sarah Boone as a mother disturbs me even more than this. So, yes, Saint Sarah of the Samsonite. Oh. I sent you jury instructions for that Ohio case. Sweet. Cuyahoga and Adams County are an issue. That's not the only issues that's not the only issues with Ohio. Those aren't the only two counties. I can name two other counties right now that are a huge issue with Ohio. One being the drugs in the county next door to Ohio, and the county county next door to Adams, and the one north of that. And then Hamilton County. Yeah, Pike County is the one north of the other county that I was talking about. Scioto County and Pike County are huge drug problems. Huge drug problems. Yeah, she is a mother something. So, and hey, Sebastian, how are you? All right, so getting back to another, like I said, somebody's got to go tell Rosalind to nominate this woman for a Giphy for Mama of the Year, because she's. So, the first one. So 29. Okay, so these two are different. 290501 A3. So kidnapping A3. And I'm looking at one monitor so I can read on another. I really wish I could show you guys what I'm looking at. No person by force, threat, or deception, or in the case of a victim under the age of 13 or mentally incompetent by any means, shall remove another from the place where the other person is found or restrain the liberty of the other person for any of the following purposes. So A3 is to terrorize, inflict serious harm on the victim or another. A2 is to facilitate the commission of any felony or flight thereafter. So the way this is written, AW is A3, MC is A2. So there's one each. It's just written very funny. So A2, MC, AW, A3, MC, only one for MC. It's very interesting to break these documents down, and like you look at all the counts, but you actually break them down. There's two children, but there's only one count of kidnapping for bodily or inflicting serious physical harm upon AW or another. So A2 did by force or deception remove MC from the place where she was found for the purpose of facilitating another crime, aggravated unaliving, or endangering children in violation of Ohio Revised Code 2919.22. So there's two counts of that. 290501B2. Under circumstances that created a substantial risk of serious physical harm to MC, knowingly restrain MC for liberty. So there's one for each child, MC and AW. And then counts 13 and 14 are just straight unaliving. So there was aggravated unaliving up here. And now we have just straight unaliving. It's just two counts of that. She purposely caused the death of MC. Purposely caused the death of AW. There's another AB. So each of these are individual counts, not just 290302. There's A, B. So 290302. There will be jury instructions for each statute charged combined into one document that the judge and attorneys need to combine and agree on to. Yeah, and that's in another case that I covered. So if y'all know Captain Kern, back last year, Captain Kern and I went over the documents in the tragic unaliving of his daughter. The reason I bring that up is not to pick at old wounds. It is there is something that we figured out in that case, that even though jury instructions are very boring to go through, they're very boring to listen to, they are quite possibly the most important of everything in a trial. They are not the most fun. They are, in fact, the most boring part of a trial is listening to people argue about jury instructions and then having the jury instructions read to the jury. However, I believe in that case of his daughter, there were some serious issues with jury instructions. And had jury instructions not looked like they had looked, the person who did what he did would be in jail for a lot longer. So it's one of those situations where jury instructions are super important. So when you hear lawyers argue over them, it seems monotonous and dumb, but it's, yeah. I think the reason they may be repeating is just like the Darnell Jones case in Toledo. I think it's specifications that qualify for capital. Yeah, and this is what I'm looking at. So I'll show you what I am looking at when I'm actually, just to see if there's anything more on the website than there is in this stuff. So it's, let me do that. Hold on. Just me. There we go. So it's, yeah, I was bored by jury instructions till that stream. Now I totally understand. Read them and they need to be listened to. I still get bored by jury instructions. I am not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I get bored reading through them. I get bored hearing people argue about them. However, I understand that they're important because it is what the jury is using to actually decide the fate of the defendant. And if, say, the prosecutor doesn't put something in there that they should have, or they word it wrong, you can get a not guilty verdict just based on how the jury instructions are worded. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it because the prosecutor agreed to it. Yeah. Yeah, I do watch them. They're boring, but I do watch them. It's okay, go. It would be nice to have standardized jury instructions, and a lot of states have somewhat standardized, but each case is different. So this is what I was looking at in when it comes to this 290302B and A. So 02 is unaliving, and I can say the M word, but I can only say it so many times in a small window before YouTube gets a little mad at me. My channel has to grow by like 100,000 people before I can say it where no one will care. No person shall purposely cause the death of another or unlawful termination of another's pregnancy. And B is no person shall cause the death of another as a proximate result of the offender committing or attempting to commit an offense of violence that is a felony of the first or second degree and that is not a violation of 290303 or 04. So it's, I am not a lawyer, never claimed to be one. So when I see aggravated murder and then just regular unaliving, I have to do my research and to read the differences between the two. because I am not a lawyer, this is one of the things that I'm interested in. However, we are going to switch back to, and this is where I really wish I could do more than one at a time. So, I am not a fan of nuances, so the fight for instructions feels slimy to me. And see, I can't say a fan of nuance, but like I understand that everything in life has nuance. So I understand the purpose, because nothing is black and white. Everything has nuance. Everything has nuance. So yeah, the results are the same whether aggravated or not. Someone is no longer with us. Yeah, it seems, and that's where the aggravated, there's got to be there's nuance there that I just am not understanding based on. Yeah, aggravated is just like in Georgia when they say malice, it's basically first degree. So she's charged with 2903 or 0302 A, B. And this is where it gets interesting because once again, okay, 2 counts of A, 15 and 16 are B. Endangering children, 291922B2. Did torture or cruelly abuse MC, a child under 18. Furthermore, in violation resulted in serious physical harm or death. Did torture AW. And just the fact that these were just the fact. So endangering children, F3. She was the parent or guardian, person having custody or control, or person in a local parentis of a child under 18 who did create substantial risk to the health or safety of NH. Oh, by violating duty of care, protection, or support. The violation resulted in serious physical harm to NH. Date of birth 12/22/2019. Oh, so this child was not unalived, thank goodness. However, there's a endangering children for that, tampering with evidence, did knowing that an official proceeding or investigation was in progress or was about to be or likely to be instituted, alter, destroy, conceal, remove any record, document, or thing with purpose to impair its value or availability as evidence in such a proceeding or investigation. And this is where it's like gross abuse of a corpse. Did, except authorized by law, treat a human corpse in a way that would outrage reasonable community sensibilities, like stuffing it in a suitcase and burying it. Flash fan, I think you would make an amazing lawyer. If not a lawyer, at least a paralegal, because they do most of the research anyway. So 2 counts of that, 1 for each child. Trigger warning. Hi, beautiful. What's up? Up. This one? Okay. Hold on. I know you're making a joke, but in this, it's a gross, not the disgusting type, but the size. All right, so that is that document. Now we are going to watch her. We are going to watch this poor excuse for an egg donor. We're going to watch her. Okay, I'm turning this down, okay? There you go. All right. And once again, we're going to watch this on a little... Ma'am. Ma'am. Let me get that belly button. Everybody says hi. Hi. All right, we're going to...
00 and Kevin Spellisy on behalf of Aliyah Henderson. We've been previously assigned to represent Ms. Henderson, Your Honor. We're in receipt of her indictment for more than 24 hours. We've been reading defects in service, plead not guilty, and the original bond. Please be continued. Thank you.
All right. Does the state wish to be heard? Or?
Yes, Your Honor. Susan Kennedy is going to speak on behalf of Mr. Chapman, who was when you come this morning, the father of one of our victims, Aliyah Chapman.
Oh, from witness victim?
Yes. From the
prosecutors. All right, come on up so we can hear you at the microphone. What do you want to tell me?
Good morning, Your Honor. Susan Kennedy, victim advocate for the prosecutor's office. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the fathers on this case. They have all expressed that they would like the highest bond possible, as Ms. Henderson has had a history of staying hidden and moving from place to place throughout the duration of the children's lives. Thank you.
Real, thank you. Take that into consideration.
Your Honor, in addition, the state would ask that you do continue the bond and that there be a no contact order with the surviving victim with the initials of NLH, date of birth 12/22/19.
Is that a child?
That is a child, Your Honor.
Is there no contact just with that child?
That child.
Okay. Sorry, this judge, I know there's a lot going on, but like 12 date of birth 12/22/19. Is this a child? I think he meant to say, is this her child? Just a...
All right, very well. You said not guilty, Mr. Jameson? All right, we'll accept your not guilty plea. This is assigned to the docket of Judge William Vogry. First pretrial is April 7th of 26 at 9 a.m. The original bond of $2 million is continued, conditioned upon no contact with the victim and the initials NLH, date of birth 12/22/79. That's a condition of the bond, and you're going to have to submit a DNA specimen. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Not guilty. Like, not guilty. How do you even... I'm curious as to see what the defense will be, because if you plead not guilty, well, what's your reasoning here?
That's right. Come on, bro. Give us a second here. So. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, my thanks.
All right. Super short, not guilty plea.
Understood. That was perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, not guilty. $2 million bond. She ain't coming up with that. Like, I'm just... Yeah. And this is what is going to be interesting to me. So this is a 19 News. I'm assuming this is out of Cleveland or somewhere close. This is where it gets interesting to me in the sense of not just wanting justice for the children, however, wanting or a bigger picture, and there being more at stake here than just justice for the two children who were unalived and the third victim who, thank goodness, is still alive. So,
two young girls found in suitcases has really brought up a question about parenting rights. So we've interviewed the father of one of the victims, saying he's been trying to get parental rights over the past couple of years, and he just wasn't getting listened to, according to him. So with that in...
So this is SB 174. It made it through the Ohio State Senate. However, did you catch that part about one of the victim's fathers, which I'm assuming now that it's been said, multiple babies' fathers. And he's been trying to get parental rights for a long time, for a couple of years, and has not been able to get them. And yet the mother is accused of unaliving that baby. Well, what if you would have given that baby to their father? Would they be alive here? So this is where parents' rights, and specifically fathers' rights, because it's really hard to take a child away from the mother, or it's really easy for mothers to say, well, he's deadbeat, he doesn't do anything, I want full custody. And courts and family courts are the most corrupt places in the country, are like, okay, fine. Like, we saw how family court operated in Maya Kowalski case. That wasn't a custody case, so to speak, but we saw how shit worked then. It's not much better between moms and dads. It's horrible. One of the fathers is incarcerated. Yeah, just not all of them. And ugh. So they were really babies only for her monthly. Well, I didn't want to go there. I really didn't want to go there. But didn't want to go there. But when you either got to learn to close your legs, just
in mind, we thought we would take another look at Senate Bill 174, and no better person to ask than one of the co-sponsors, State Senator Teresa Gavarone. She's from the Republican from the Bowling Green District. That also represents Sandusky here in our viewing area. Senator, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
Let's talk about this bill. First of all, you're one of the co-authors here, one of the co-sponsors. What was the goal of this parenting bill? Because the way I've read through it, this isn't about getting the mother more rights. It's not about getting the father more rights. What is the goal here?
The goal of this legislation is really to recenter focus on what is in a child's best interest and making sure that we're focusing on the child. It's a long time coming. It's a modernization bill. I've been an attorney who practiced in this space for a long time, and definitely see the need for updating some of these, concepts.
So,
what a concept! Like, I don't know the details of this bill. I have not read it, so I can't say whether I agree with it or not. But just talking about it, on its face, it sounds like, oh, we're going to update these things and do what's in the best interest of the child, which always should be there. And I've had situations where I've had friends who have children with a woman who is like batshit crazy, and they're like, my children are scared of him. And he gets his rights taken away for what seems like absolutely no reason. And it's like, all it took was one word from the mom who has a vendetta against her ex. Like, their divorce should have nothing to do with their children. And using your child to get back at your ex or your estranged husband because you're in the middle of a divorce is just a low life move. And I'm really hoping that, like, this bill kind of takes the parents' opinions of each other out of it. Because when you're in the middle of a breakup, you don't have high opinions of the other person. Divorces are messy. Breakups are messy. It happens. But your adult issues should not affect your child growing up with both parents.
What was, and updating is a great word, and I'm sure some of these laws haven't been touched in quite a few years. What did you see as an attorney who practiced in this realm? What did you see as
it takes away fine prints? I would love to read this bill. I just find it interesting that it takes kids being unalived to finally get action in state senates and these outdated old laws or favoring one parent over another. All of this happened to me with my ex. Yeah, I just think having both parents involved needs to happen. Even if the parent is incarcerated, that kid needs to know where that parent is and at least have some sort of, like, your parent did not abandon you per se. They made choices and got themselves into trouble that had nothing to do with you. So, yeah, the system needs a total revamping. I've seen many, not to this extent, that abuse the system. There's a lot of people who abuse a lot of systems, and oh yes, if it makes it unsafe for the child, yes, that is true. However, we shouldn't just go in thinking just because a mom says, my kids are scared of, my kids are scared of their dad. Just because a mom who's in the middle of a divorce says that her kids are scared does not necessarily mean it's true. And the courts should take a little bit more of a deeper dive instead of just taking what someone says as face value, who obviously wants revenge against somebody. So, yes, and no system is ever going to be perfect. However, these laws that we have in place now, where it's like Wisconsin is a mom 100% state. So, like, it favors the mother, and it takes what the mother says at face value without doing any investigation, and the kids get taken away from the dad, even though the dad literally did not do anything wrong. It's that kind of crap. So I just find this interesting. Oh, thank you. We'll have to go over that on another stream. My phone is blowing up today. I love you guys.
Problems with the way the bill is currently, the way the law is currently?
Yes. Well, currently, most courts have a standard court schedule. If the parties don't have a shared parenting plan, the court will usually do. Usually it's mom getting custody and dad getting every Wednesday and every other weekend. Well, this legislation does away with that and really encourages maximizing parenting time with both parents, understanding that in most cases, that's what's in a child's best interest. And so that's what the court strives to do, tries to encourage the parents to work together to come up with equal parenting time or substantially equal parenting time when it's in a child's best interest. And so it does away with those standard court schedules.
And some of the highlights of this that I was reading through just seems to be one of those common sense kind of laws that we'd like to see sort of implemented. It does require this parenting plan where there's sort of an agreed upon plan of raising a child, a meaningful relationship with both parents. It's the idea of it's not just one day this week and 2 days next week. It is shared parenting time, shared decision making time. There, let's be honest, several big decisions that have to be made and they shouldn't be made one direction.
Yeah, and Heidel, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. There's certain instances where that obviously what the mom says or what the dad says is true, and that needs to be taken into account. But that's where an investigation comes in, and not just a full custody to mom and dad gets 1 weekend a month. It's just my brother-in-law divorced his first wife. He has hardly talked to his daughter in over 20 years. Her mother completely corrupted her mind towards him. And I understand that. It's just no system is going to be perfect, but I would rather err on the side of caution in the sense of starting with giving both children or both parents equal rights and custody, and then working it out from there, because there are more cases of that where both parents need and are decent parents. Nobody's perfect, so I'm not even going to say, perfect parents. But there are more cases where people are good parents and are working hard to be parents, and that than there are of the people who do the crap that this situation did. But most states, or at least the states that I've lived in personally when I was under the age of 18, are women first states, and all the rights go to the women, and the men are not given any father's rights. And Ohio is one of them, because I lived in Ohio when I was under 18. So I understand devil's advocate. However, there are more cases of fathers not getting time with their children because of shitty laws, like the way things are in mom favored states, than there are of, hey, my child is scared of their dad, and that's actually true. If they looked at all parties like your friend, a lot of accusations could be avoided and charges for anyone bringing false accusations. Yeah. Yes, and I agree with the parental agreement and mediation, but once again, not all mediation goes well when it's a woman favored state, because even when you have a guardian ad litem, if the woman makes false accusations and starts running her mouth and the guardian ad litem is like, well, she said this, I don't think you should get cut. I've seen my fair share of, yeah. I've personally written letters to, or let a letter to a judge because of this situation on behalf of my friend. So it's, yeah. And that other woman's so glad that I don't live in the same state as her.
I do like this. The way it's been highlighted prohibits the court from giving preference to a father or a mother or legal custodian because of a person's financial status or gender. Why is that so important?
It's so important. And you hear about cases all the time where people will say, well, mom is going to get custody and I'm just going to get, every other weekend or visitation. And we want to change that. Really, when you're looking at what's in a child's best interest, again, trying to maximize that parenting time, and not regardless of whether someone is bringing in a whole lot of money or someone is father or mother. Again, focusing on what's best for that child.
Yeah. And then there's also this, and I thought this was great. With unmarried parents, it allows either the mother or the father, again, it's this equality idea that the mother doesn't get more power than the father or vice versa, that they can file a complaint at no charge. Because let's be honest, that's going to be one of the biggest obstacles for a father or a mother trying to get more rights to see their children is money. I don't have the money to hire an attorney to go to court for this. So to file a complaint at no charge, requesting the allocation of parenting rights and responsibilities be examined and perhaps changed, and the chance to get an expedited hearing. So removing the financial component and making it expedited. Why were those?
I agree with the expedited, and I do agree with the financial to an aspect. I mean, obviously you have to have enough to take care of the child, but like usually it's been in the case where like the person with the most money will get, custody. And that sucks too, because just because you have more money doesn't always make you a better person. But this right here, then report on CPS. Yes, that's what I'm hoping that things like this will lead to. We got to start somewhere. And maybe this and stuff like this will be a first step, because CPS and family court kind of go hand in hand. And they're kind of intertwined. So if you start to reform one, maybe you'll bleed over into starting to reform the other, just based on how intertwined they are. But you got to start somewhere. Every system in this country, every program in this country needs reform. And if they tell, and everybody who tells you it doesn't is either uninformed, ignoring basic facts, or brainwashed, or just stupid.
Those two areas of focus here.
It's really important. We certainly want to break down barriers and make sure that both parents have an opportunity for a meaningful relationship with their child. And you're right, the filing fee can be a barrier, but we also want to expedite the process. Say you just find out your dad. This allows you to request visitation, either you or the mother, and expedite a process within 30 days, have a hearing and temporary orders in place so that we can get that meaningful visitation time and parenting time established in a quick manner.
We are speaking with State Senator Gavarone from the Bowling Green District, also represents all of Sandusky. Let's.
All right. That's all we're gonna watch of that. It's one of those situations, there is no right answer and no bill is perfect, but we have to kind of start somewhere, because right now we're nowhere. Right now, all people are doing is bitching about it, but no one's actually doing anything about it. And the interesting thing that I find is when people start doing stuff about it, well, everybody complains. Well, it's not doing this. It's not doing. Well, at least they stepped up and decided to do something. What are you doing? Like, when I hear people, political pundits, all the time going, well, they didn't do this, or they did this wrong, or they didn't, this bill doesn't do. Well, where's your bill? If you think you can do better, where is your bill? And that's what no one can answer. If everybody else thinks they can do better, where's theirs? I've had 4 people send me the same exact 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? I love you guys. All right, so we're gonna from the same exact link. So we're going to play this on YouTube real quick, just so we can be so we can get this out of the way. If it'll play. There we go. And then we'll get back to the stream.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Oh, look at that. It's so weird. Should we stream snipe me? It's so weird. Well, that's odd. All right. I've never stream sniped myself before. Sorry. Easily entertained today. All right. So we have a couple more documents to go through, and then I think we're going to call it a day because we've been at this for an hour and 25 minutes, and this is just scratching the surface of this case. This isn't a huge deep dive. This isn't going, through everything. But there's been defendant's demand for discovery and then a motion for discovery. And then those are the two things we're going to go through real quick. If I can open up the right. So I'm looking at the date these were filed. 9/24/1036. We're going to do the motion for discovery because it was filed first. Like I said, we're setting a timeline here. Hey, I'm a gifter. How are you? It's a squid clone. Alrighty. Why are you set up like that? I want you here. All right. So these are motion for discovery, March 26th. Comes now defendant by and through co-counsel hereby moves this court for pursuant to Rule 16 of the Ohio Rules of Criminal Procedure, requiring the state to permit the defendant to inspect and copy the following which are available to or within the possession, custody, or control of state. The existence of which is known or exercise of due diligence may become known to the prosecuting attorney. Any written or recorded statements made by defendant, any written summaries, any oral statements made by the defendant to the prosecuting attorney or to any law enforcement officer, any prior criminal record of the defendant, any document, tangible objects, or photographs which are intended for use by the state or which may be material to proper preparation of the defense, including but not limited to any police reports related to this case, any reports of physical or mental examinations and of scientific tests made in connection with this particular case and the data which comprise the basis for any such reports, a list of the names and addresses of all witnesses whom the state intends to call at trial, together with any record of prior felony convictions of any such witness. Also, the request is being specifically made for a list of all charges that were in any way compromised or will be compromised as a consequence of any witness participation in any facet in this case. Disclosure of all evidence of whatever type that may be favorable to the defendant, which is material to either guilt or punishment. Further, if the state does not have any particular item requested at this time, it is requested pursuant to Rule 16D that upon obtaining the additional matter that it would subject to the discovery under this request, the state shall promptly make such matters available to the defendant and notify him of the existence of such material or additional material. So this is Nancy Jameson is the defendant's attorney. And Michael O'Malley is the prosecuting attorney for Cuyahoga County. And I have no idea if I'm saying that right. And that's okay. No, we didn't. We knew everyone in the neighborhood. We knew where you were. Did you really? Oh, no. All right. Hey, Shenny, how are you? So we have one more. And I have no idea about this judge either. This is Judge William F.B. Vaudry. All right. This goes into a little bit more about what they want. So, defendant, by and through undersigned counsel, demands all discovery pursuant to Rule 16 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 23.1 of the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Local Rules of Court, and the 6th and 14th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution. Hey, Hose Picker. How are you? Long time no see. Where have you been at? Yes. However, there's been situations where my friend's ex said that her kids were scared of their dad, and they were not. I saw those kids with their dad. They were not scared of their dad. They were not scared of their dad. No. Any statement of defendant, co-defendant, and or any witness. Relevant or recorded statements or copies thereof made by defendant, as well as all written and recorded statements made by co-defendant, a co-defendant, or a witness. Furthermore, please forward any written summaries of any oral statements or copies made by the defendant, co-defendant, and or a witness to the prosecuting attorney or law enforcement for purposes of this request. A witness shall include any person who has or claims to have knowledge or is believed to have knowledge concerning a fact or facts about the issue, or about the credibility of other witnesses, irrespective of whether the state intends to call such a person at trial. So they don't have to be an actual witness at trial. They just have to be someone that the state might look at trial. They want everything. Bye, friend. Have a good one. Criminal records of defendants. A copy of defendant's prior record, as well as the criminal record of any co-defendant or witness associated with the instant matter. For purposes of this request, a witness shall include, we said it above. So I just have a feeling the state is going to call people that she knew or she knows, and the people that she hangs around with and she puts her children around have criminal records. And when I say that, Flash Fan mentioned that one of her baby daddies is in jail. I have a feeling they're going to call, or they are thinking that the state is going to call him, and they are going to use his criminal record against him. He can't testify against my client because he's got a criminal record. I just have this, I have this sneaking suspicion that the people that she surrounds herself with are not the most upstanding citizens. Just, I've been cutting down my posting a lot. I'm always listening. My typos are making me not want to chat. Hey, typos are welcome here. I can't talk. You really think that typos bother me? I'm on a YouTube channel and I have problems with the English language. So you are more than welcome here, always. All right. Documents and tangible objects, books, papers, tangible objects, photographs, buildings or places or copies or portions thereof available to or within the possession, custody, or control of the state, which are material to the preparation of the defendant's defense and are intended for use by the prosecuting attorney as evidence at trial, or were obtained from or belong to the defendant. Yes, we speak typo here fluently. So I actually apologize to someone for using talk to text this morning and having a typo, and their response to me was, I speak fluent typo. Reports of examinations and tests, physical or mental examinations, and of scientific tests made in connection with the above captioned case or copies thereof within the possession, custody, or control of the state, the existence of which is, this is the only time I don't like typos. This is the only time I can't stand typos. when you're trying to insult me and you make typos when you're trying to insult me, I laugh and become a grammar Yahtzee. And or lawyers who are writing a legal document and should really know better and proofread their shit before they submit it to a court. Those are the only time typos make me go, do better. Other than that, you do you, boo-boo. Saying. Which is K known, or by the exercise of due diligence, may become known to the prosecuting attorney. The defendant further requests that all laboratory and hospital reports or copies thereof associated with the above captioned matter be remitted forthwith pursuant to Local Rule 23.1. Hospital reports, aka the medical examiner's report. Just a written list of the names and addresses of all witnesses that the prosecutor intends to call at trial, together with any record of prior felonies, convictions, prior crimes of any level of severity that involve dishonesty or false statements. See, they're trying to use people's past against them. That they lied in the past, they must be lying now. Or any pending criminal charges, regardless of right here. Like the 4 and the T are not even close to each other. Like what happened here? What happened here? You're a lawyer. You should do better. This is like a Bruce mistake. Like, I've tried everything to correct it. When the vision goes, it's time to go. Nope. 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 Please stop saying, just say you're giving me PTSD. Sorry. Host picker, you are not a problem here. Not a problem. I just can't. You're supposed to be a lawyer, regardless. You can't spell weather without a number 4, and no. Any prior conviction has been the subject of a pardon, expungement, and regardless of whether any prior conviction is currently under appeal. If something's been expunged, you don't need to know. That's the point of an expungement. Sorry. If I were the judge, I'd be like, no. Evidence favorable to the defendant. And yeah. Amendment 6 and 14, all evidence or information known or which may become known to the prosecuting attorney, which may be favorable to the defendant, which is valid. Police reports, all police reports, both original and supplemental, the existence of which may be known or may become known that are associated with the above captioned matter. This demand is continuing in nature. If subsequent to compliance with this request, the state of Ohio discovers additional responsive materials, those materials shall promptly be transmitted to the defendant, or in the event the state refused to transmit such materials, the state shall advise defendant of its noncompliance in order to allow for a judicial determination. Just saying is like better than saying or like, yeah. Kevin Spacey, you have a spell in your name and you can't spell with a damn. I don't have high hopes for these attorneys, even though I think there's a good chance that she is guilty, just based on the utter lack of give a shit for where her children were during that 911 call or that police call. I don't have high hopes for these lawyers, just based on the way that document was written. And something as simple. See, I have no problem, and we're going to go to final thoughts here. I have no problem with spelling and grammar mistakes in a YouTube chat. I have no problem with spelling and grammar mistakes in a YouTube. You're home? Hi, welcome home. However, when you are a lawyer who has who is submitting documents to a court of law, who is supposed to be the smartest person in the motherfucking room, that's when spelling and grammar mistakes, I'm like, I get very, you're supposed to do better. YouTube chat, don't give a damn. Someone with poor vision, I don't care. You do the best you can. However, when you're submitting documents to a court, you need to do better. I am not sure how I feel about this case right now, but I think that this person needs to be on Rosalind's nomination list for Mother of the Year. Because she qualifies just based on her utter lack of give a crap for where her daughters were at. They are just proving it wasn't written by that's true. That's true. All right, guys. I'm gonna see where I can send you because YouTube is a big place, and I like to give you a thing. Ooh, lots of people have upcoming streams. So AJ will be live, I think it's 6 p.m. So you got a couple hours, but go over to AJ, drop a like on the stream, leave a comment in the chat, even though it's not for another hour and 15 minutes. Tell her I said hi and I sent you, and y'all have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow. We have some bankruptcy documents to go through, and then Friday we will be doing a March document recap for Tyler Robinson, because there's been a thing that I've seen reported about the bullet that was recovered from Charlie not matching the weapon that was supposedly used. But we have the documents and we're going to do some investigation on Friday. So I will see you guys then. Have a great day. Bye.